Hey folks, Tim Newman with Lite Studios bringing another daily assignment your way. Today's assignment for August 29th, 2019. Our assignment today is titled Working Out. Everybody should do a little working out, especially me. Lots of different ways to capture images of people working out and the gear that they use. Who knows? It might even inspire some additional activity from a few of us. All right, let's take a look at some sample images. I really like this image here. I think it's a really straight shout out to the rule of thirds. I love the way that the light is managed here. We've got just a twinge of detail in the subject, not quite that silhouette perspective, but almost. And I think it's a great shot of generic working out, if you will. This image right here, everybody's working out these days. And I really like the midline focus in this one. I love the really shallow depth of field here. And if you take a look at the bokeh on it, you'll also notice that this was shot with a catadaptic lens. You might want to take a look at that and look that up, see what that means. But I think this is a really cool image, and I like the way the colors and the composition come together here. Let's take a look at some of the elements of design they're concerned with here. Lines and shape obviously matter. It makes it obvious when we see the silhouette of a person working out. We're not really necessarily looking for form here, though form could be worked in here, but I think shape is really critical. And then I think, of course, the quality of light is pretty important here as well. Let's take a look at some more sample images. This is the quintessential Jersey gym, if you will. You know, it's definitely, this place is all about working out. I really like the perspective of this shot here, this straight on shot. I love the texture in the shot. I think as a black and white, the tonality works really, really well here, and it's well balanced. In our next sample image, this is a little more of a point of view thing. This guy here working the battle ropes. Those guys, they're tough to do, but they're fun at the same time, something that you can really get into. I like the middle line focus here. I love the leading lines of the ropes coming into this young gentleman working out, and I love the diagonal that's here in the frame. Plus, I really like the kind of atmospheric conditions that we have here. It's obviously a little bit cooler gym, and this gentleman's putting off a little perspiration, and that's given us some of that smokiness that you're seeing here in the scene. I think that works really well here. One last sample image. Hey, not everybody works out the same way, and I think that's pretty cool. Tai Chi, the Orientals are really into that, and I really like the way the light works in this scene, the minimalized kind of almost monochromatic color set, if you will, and just the way the two folks here in the shot are interacting with one another. Let's take a look at our rules of composition here. We're obviously interested in balance in these shots. A lot of tonal balance that we see here in these, plus subject balance matters here as well. I think you saw it in the very first picture right off the bat. Really nice use of positive versus negative space there to generate a feel in that image. Rule of thirds where you can work it in, that always helps the scene. Don't forget that middle line focus. We saw some of that in these shots as well. And of course, perspective, you know, getting down and engaging with the subjects or with the gear at an angle that really draws the viewer directly into the scene. Let's take a look at some of our format specifications. If you're going to submit your image for the semi-monthly image critique, here are some guidelines for how to export that image to do so. You'll also see an example of a file name for today's date and our naming standard. If none of this makes any sense, please take a look at the Update 01 video, for which there is a link in the description below. Right near that link, you will find a link for our upload URL, so you don't have to type all those characters that you see there at the bottom of the screen. And last but not least, remember that subscription button is a really awesome link that works amazingly well. All right, folks, go out and capture some folks working out. Heck, work out with them. They'll probably even be happier to have their picture taken then. And while you're doing that, remember that learning equals skills, practice equals mastery. We'll see you out there.